New this morning, a beef between adults put several children in the way.
Late last night, someone opened fire on an apartment building on Pecan Valley, that is on the city's southeast side, and police say several children were sleeping inside at the time that the shooting happened. Fortunately, none of them were hurt. Erica Zuko joining us now live. Erica, do police know who shot up those apartments?
Well, Station Barry, they don't necessarily know who did it, but they say that there may have been 8 suspects, and they believe that those suspects likely knew whoever they were shooting at. They knew at least a couple people in the units that they were firing on. But here's the thing, there were a lot of people in that apartment complex. Police say that it appears everybody was at home at the time, and there were also children in that apartment complex, so a really dangerous situation. Fortunately here, no one was injured, but police say just before midnight they were called out to an apartment complex on Pecan Valley and South New Braunfels Road. Police say from what they learned on scene, they believe those 8 suspects, around that number, started firing at the building, and they mainly hit 2 units, one on the lower level and one on the upper level. Again, police say the suspects may have known the people living inside, but there were a lot of other people there. They're still investigating this morning, working to get more information on where those suspects could be. They have not released identities at this point in time, but again, fortunately, the good news, none of the children or other people inside of that complex were hurt. We're live in San Antonio. Erica Zuko, KENS 5 Eyewitness News.